Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is just me trying to build a $500 stock portfolio in my TFSA to a $15,000 account. So if you want to follow along with the journey, follow along with my portfolio's performance and my buys and sells, just subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. The market's been down pretty consistently throughout the last week. Friday was especially bad. Even Monday kind of, was pretty much negative all day, and then it kind of turned around end of the day. So people are definitely, worrying, and you even have some people selling out of all of their positions because they think that they can predict the stock market, and they think that it's going to just head in one direction. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows what the stock market will do, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. There's only one truth, and that is that the stock market will go up over long periods of time. That's all you need to know. Just keep investing, and you will do well. That's it. Just heading into the portfolio, we're up today about 160.62. The past week we're still down 3%, so pretty brutal week so far, but that's the entire market selling off. Down 1% the last month. We're still up 1% the last 3 months, and we're still up 71.24, up about 8% all time. So we've lost some of the gains we've made since we started the portfolio, but again, not too worried. And I view any market downturns as an opportunity to buy more shares of companies that pay dividends. So I have a long-term focus, so you're not going to have any negativity on this channel when the stock market is down. I just see it as a great time to continue buying more. Why would you be happy paying more for your shares? It just never doesn't make sense to me. So here's the changes that I've made to the portfolio since the last update. So I purchased one more share of Brookfield Asset Management. So I started this position last week with 2 shares, so we went up from 2 to 3 just because the price dropped to about $68. So I decided to buy another share. And if you want to know why, I did make a video last week explaining in greater detail as to why I chose to invest in this company. So do check that video out if you haven't seen it already. And I purchased 10 more shares of DFN, so we're up to 90 shares of this. And this is just giving a very, very high income to the portfolio each and every month. So we're getting about $9 a month out of this one holding, just hitting our cash account every month and ready to redeploy and invest in other holdings to generate more income and more value for us. ETHY is our Ethereum covered call ETF. So this is a way to be invested in crypto. Ethereum specifically is the one I'm choosing just because I find that it has more utility than, say, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value. You could think of Ethereum kind of like oil. It's something that we all need to use to, make cryptos work. A lot of things are based upon Ethereum. So I see a brighter future for Ethereum just based upon its utility and its usefulness. It has some value for sure. We don't know what that value is, so I'm keeping this position small, and in the meantime, I'm going to collect a 25-30% dividend yield that pays me monthly. So this is helping me in my goals and giving me a bit of crypto exposure to a cryptocurrency I like. But it's going to be small because I have no idea where this industry's heading, and nobody does. So anybody giving you price predictions, be very, very wary of that. And the new position is going to be in Microsoft. So I recently purchased this. I'll be going into greater detail in a moment as to why. The Activision Blizzard deal definitely very, very exciting that Microsoft bought them. So I'll be touching on why I bought this. I sold out of TXF, which is my covered call technology ETF, and I really just decided to go for investing in Microsoft and then putting the rest of the money into high dividend yield income, just because I've wanted to buy Microsoft for a while, and with this latest acquisition, I think it's a great time. I'm more optimistic about the company than ever before, and I'm going to take this decline in the price as an opportunity to get in and start a position. And I also purchased one more share of Smart Center, so we went from 18 shares to 19 shares. So it said that there's 2 guarantees in life, but I think there's 3 guarantees in life. So that would be death, taxes, and Microsoft crushing their earnings and beating earnings expectations. They just do it consistently all the time. So they recently reported their earnings end of day yesterday. So let's see, their revenue is up, their earnings per share is up, the intelligent cloud business basically came in as expected. Their productivity and business processes, 15.9. So you could think of that like their Microsoft Office. Personal computing exceeded expectations. And the largest and most important, I think, is the growth of their Microsoft Azure service. So their cloud services revenue grew by 46%, which is absolutely crazy. And I'm going to talk about the main reason why I decided to invest, which is the recent purchase of Activision Blizzard. So this is a huge deal that Microsoft recently did. So they're going to buy Activision Blizzard, which is a game developer. They own a lot of IP, so a lot of good intellectual property. So like Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, StarCraft. Also Hearthstone as well, which is just a card game based on Warcraft. So I think that this is going to give Microsoft some access to mobile gaming, with Candy Crush and Hearthstone being extremely popular games in their lineup. But the main cash cow is really Call of Duty. For whatever reason, people love buying this every single year for pretty much a similar game, but it's their best-selling product, and this is a profitable business. And they also will own Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. So there are some good properties that Activision Blizzard owns that Microsoft can definitely take advantage of and integrate them into their own Xbox Game Pass service. So the deal is going to be for $68.7 billion. And really, I think it is a very smart acquisition from Microsoft because they basically paid fair value for Activision. And the only reason that they got a fair deal here, because typically when a company acquires another company, they have to pay a premium for that company, is that Activision Blizzard has a lot of scandals with like sexual assault, abuse in the company. So it's definitely sent consumer sentiment about the company is way down, and they're beaten up. But it is a profitable business in all their market segments. So this is a great timing by Microsoft, basically buying Activision Blizzard while it's down. And they're going to add it to their Xbox Game Pass service library, which is their monthly recurring subscription revenue. And I think they can become the Netflix of gaming with this acquisition. So I'm extremely excited for this deal to go through. And Microsoft in general just has very stable, predictable revenues due to their subscription model services. Like, they are probably the best company at implementing it. They charge you every month for Microsoft Office. They charge you every month for their cloud computing services. They charge you every month for OneDrive, your cloud storage. And now they're going to charge you every month to play video games, because why would you buy a video game for $100 when for about $100 a year you could have a library of hundreds of video games? You couldn't possibly have time to play them all, but the point is it would be cheaper than collectively buying 10-20 games per year. So it's probably going to be the future of the gaming industry at this point. And I think that gaming as a whole has a lot of room to grow over the long term. And Microsoft is just a very strong company fundamentally. It has very good, consistent earnings, very predictable revenue. It honestly doesn't seem believable that a company could be this consistent, but Microsoft defies expectations all the time consistently. They also buy back shares and give you greater ownership of the company over long periods of time. They increase their dividend on a regular basis, so you're getting more income from the company as a shareholder. And because they're growing each and every year at a pretty good pace, 20% growth here and there consistently over long periods of time is going to grow Microsoft much larger than it is today. And with their cloud services growing at 46%, I see nothing but good things for Microsoft ahead. and they basically are essential in our lives. We cannot get away from them. Businesses cannot get away from Microsoft. Even the US government has contracts with Microsoft, so they are definitely going to be here to stay, and I like Microsoft for the long term. And I just want to touch on, people being scared of the market declining and going down. And I'm just going to show this graphic, just showing that, first of all, nobody can time the market. So that's like, hoarding cash, waiting for the market to go to its low point, and then buying in. So here is a graphic of this assumption in action. So there's two ways to invest in the market. So one is dollar cost averaging, which is just investing regularly into the stock market, every week, every month, whatever it is, just no matter what the market does, we're continuing to purchase shares. And that's the strategy that I'm employing because it's proven over long periods of time, as you can see in this chart. So this is comparing the S&P 500 performance, buying it every week at various different prices, up and down. Sometimes it's expensive, sometimes it's cheap, versus someone that waits for the low point of every market downturn. And you can see that at the end, the person that buys consistently ends up with more money. And that's simply because time in the market beats timing the market. So the longer the time your money spends in the market, the more it can compound and grow and build upon itself. Because this perfect market timer, essentially, no one can time the bottom perfectly anyway, but even if you could, according to this chart, you underperform because you have your money in the market for shorter periods of time, and you don't give your money time to compound and grow. So to any, YouTubers out there that are, saying like, oh, I'm going to sell my holdings and buy back into the market and I'm going to make a giant return, they're essentially just gambling because in the short term, nobody knows where the stock market is going to be headed. And anybody claiming to know that is absolutely full of it, and you shouldn't believe them. You could get lucky, of course. Like, oh yeah, if the market tumbles 20%, you could buy back in with all your money. But what if the market goes up 10% or 20%? Are you going to buy back in then? Because you're going to get fewer shares of companies. So you've essentially reduced your return. You have less assets and less time in the market to make up for that because you were waiting on the sidelines. So just always be dollar cost averaging, and over long periods of time, you will do well. That's it. Just ignore all these short-term fluctuations. Just, buy whatever it is you buy. Buy your good companies. Buy your ETF. Just stay consistent. Just stay invested over long periods of time, and you will do well. So there's nothing to worry about. And have a good day, everyone, and enjoy buying the stocks on a discount while you can.
And if you want to get free Bitcoin every single day just for shaking your phone and $30 for signing up and depositing $100 and trading it, you can fund your account with e-transfer and buy and sell Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can join my link in the description below. You can also sign up for Wealthsimple Trade in the description below and get the value of 2 free stocks.